let me know when we're live.
We are good.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to book club.
Oh, it's so depressing that it's dark out now that we're starting. For
I
like
was
a few of
thinking
them,
that.
it's been so light.
I think in June we still had a little bit,
Yeah. I think
but
July
now it's
too.
like black,
Yeah.
like just dark. Summer was too fast.
Yeah. Way too fast.
Anyways, how's everyone doing today? Who's excited for book club? Now that we all rushed to finish it because everyone forgot to read it. I feel
I
like,
I feel like I had a mild excuse with my parents being here and then
yeah,
their flight delays.
I feel like I had an excuse because I was on deadline.
Yeah.
And your parents were here.
Yeah. Exactly.
Even though I finished it like last week, I think.
Yeah.
I
You
read it pretty
you
quick.
finished it pretty well. That's fair. We
I think August is just like,
yeah, it's too
it seems
busy.
crazy for everyone.
Yeah.
Like there was very low interaction on the book, and I feel like everyone was late or forgot,
Yeah.
which is fine. Like it's busy.
No big deal.
Nope. At least we were all on the same boat.
Um
I think tonight's probably going to be pretty low numbers based on how many people read the book.
yeah, I
I
think
know there's a few people who can't make it to the meetings on Wednesdays at the time that we do it, so um, it might just be small group tonight, which is fine.
yeah.
I always forget that in the US, back to school is August.
Yeah, cuz us
Here,
it's like another
it's
week.
September. So if you're in the US and the kids are already back to like when did they go back to school? Was it this week?
Last
Was it
week,
last week?
the 20th.
August 20th. Wow.
So a
We've
week
already been
ago.
in school a week. So here, school doesn't start
Oh, the
for another.
13th for someone else.
Oh, that's so early.
I was in the cornfields then when I was a kid.
Yeah, so it's the first week of September here. And that's like the way it's always been.
Yeah.
Like after Labor Day. I can't imagine going back to school before Labor Day.
No. It's,
That's
it's
wild.
like bizarre to me.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense in my brain.
Yeah. Ours was based on the growing season in Canada because you only have a
Yay. Yay for growing up in a farmer's town. School year ends in Canada in June.
June, like, and
Like the
last
last
week.
week of June, unless you're graduating, then it's the week before that week.
I feel like May would have been way nicer. But then going back in August, like August is like our last good
August is
month
so
here.
nice.
Yeah,
I kind of like going back in September.
yeah.
Weird. Anyways, let's just jump right into book club tonight. As you're all aware, we're going to be discussing Magic Hour by Kristin Hannah tonight. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Should we just
Initial thoughts.
jump right
Let's
in?
hear what you were thinking.
Okay, so I didn't know what the book was about, as usual. I didn't read the synopsis, but I am familiar with Kristin Hannah. I read four of her newer books, which are all historical fiction. I knew this one wasn't historical fiction though, because her earlier works are all like contemporary. So that's kind of all I knew. going in, but it's been kind of like a goal of mine to read some of her backlist books because I really enjoy her historical fiction books like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much it. I think that's all I really knew. I really did know it was going to be different from what I know of her books because it was written so long ago. So I wasn't really expecting it to be like the books that I know of her.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
My expectations were low.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be about witches, so
Really?
imagine my disappointment.
Because of the magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I realized it was Kristin Hannah, and you told me it was The Great
I
Alone,
mean,
and I was like,
the cover does kind of give it witchy.
no, I
Like
know.
it's the spooky
I looked at the
forest.
cover and I was like, oh, nice, forest witches. This is my jam. But there was no witches, obviously. But once I found out it was Kristin Hannah and you told me she wrote The Great Alone,
Yeah.
then I was like, oh, she liked that book, and I think it was just like a historical fiction. So
Yeah.
I quickly was like, I'm assuming it's just um, some sort of like name about a specific time in the night or whatever.
Right. That makes sense.
So
That's kind of good. That's fun. It's
yeah,
fun that you're not alone. It seems like other people thought that as well.
yeah.
So that's good.
Forest witches. That now we gotta find a book with forest witches because
Yeah, we do.
I'm like itching to maybe for Halloween we can find like a thriller
Yeah,
forest witch book.
we'll get to that. Yeah, you've definitely heard me mention Kristin Hannah
Yeah,
before.
yeah. Once I like put together who it was, I was like, oh yeah, that she wrote like a few books that you liked that
That I've
were
talked about. Yeah.
more historical fiction. So I after that I expected something a little more. I didn't expect what it was. I didn't have
Yeah.
no idea what it was gonna be, but I knew it would be like some sort of like historical fiction sounding storyline.
Yeah. Shall we move on to our ratings?
Yeah.
So I rated it 3.75 stars. I liked it. I didn't love it. I think I could tell it was one of her earlier works. I think I had the benefit of knowing what Kristin Hannah can write like because I was just like, her later books, her historical fiction books, are very well written and have like really good character development. And I can tell that she has really worked on that since this book. I struggled a little bit with the character development, what we'll get into a little bit more. But I was satisfied by the ending. I really liked the Alice storyline. I could have done without some of the like subplot moments, but overall, I thought it was like good,
Yeah.
but just like didn't blow me away like some of her other books have.
I gave it a 3.5. I didn't
Mhm.
um, have anything bad to say about it, but I didn't love it either. It was just kind of like an interesting story. Like you, I was interested in Alice, and that was about it.
Yeah,
And
from
have
what I gathered reading through the comments, most people cared about Alice, but nothing
yeah,
else.
I thought the parts written from Alice's perspective were really interesting.
Oh, I love those chapters.
Um,
I thought
and
she did a good job with the tone
yeah,
of that as well,
yeah,
switching perspectives and stuff, which we'll get into.
yeah. Um, the group ratings, there will be a 2 in there after this as well.
Yeah, this was taken before
This is about
um
4 o'clock this afternoon.
for our time, yeah.
Yeah, three
Um
Eastern Standard.
Overall though, like we didn't get a lot of ratings on this one. I think a lot of people like didn't read it, which I mentioned earlier in our chat. I think people just kind of forgot this month, which is totally fine. Um but like compared to last month's book, which was really split like all over, like you either like liked it or didn't like it at all, this one was like for the most part, like you can see on the chart, like there's a lot of 4 stars. So I feel like the group as a whole somewhat enjoyed it or thought it was like decent at least, which is good.
Oh, Don, you're at 75%. Oh, do you want us to give you like a spoiler warning? Like, I'm gonna say something. Mute your audio.
I don't know if I'll be able to like
I can't.
stop myself.
Yeah, um, I'll do my best.
Anyways, let's just jump into the discussion. Get started. What did you think of the beginning with like the opening chapter?
I was really confused. The audiobook kind of threw me. Um, like, I think some people mentioned that having it switch without a chapter break kind of,
Well, I imagine that would be really weird on the audio.
yeah. So I went from like this courtroom, and then all of a sudden I wasn't like fully invested in the book yet. Like it takes a
Yeah.
little bit to get into it, and then all of a sudden, um, it's just like girl and wolf,
And you were like, what
and
is
I'm like,
happening?
what? What
You were
did I
like, are
miss?
these the forest witches?
Yeah, the forward switches saying just half sentences or something. But yeah, it once I figured out what was going on and like that it was mainly from three perspectives, it wasn't so bad.
Yeah, I think it was a bit jarring at first. It seemed like a lot of people commented on that it was kind of just like really abrupt to switch. I did get used to it as I was reading. Like I was anticipating as
Yeah,
soon as there was a break, I was like, "Okay, we're switching."
yeah.
So it was really only the first chapter.
Um, the
Um,
the author or the narrator did a good job. Once I figured out what tone went with what character, then I was like, okay, um, it's I get it now.
yeah.
But
Was it
in the
just a
be
single narrator?
yeah,
Yeah. I figured it's kind of an older book,
yeah.
so.
Um, narrator
Um,
was pretty good. Like I don't think she was my favorite, but like she did a pretty good job for the most part. I think. Um, I found that with the dialogue, then if I made a comment later on that it kind of felt like it was like a old TV show or movie, like a
yeah,
1960s like black and white soap opera kind of style dialogue. But I
yeah,
think the narrator made that happen as
yeah,
well. Like it was the two things together, the um, dialogue plus that.
yeah.
Um,
It's interesting. Megan says that it needed page break symbols. My like physical book did have page break symbols, so I knew when it was switching, but that would be really difficult if it didn't.
yeah,
But like I said, I got used to it. Like I knew as soon as I knew like there was like a section, I knew like it was gonna
yeah.
be a different perspective. Um, there was also an earlier comment about how I think it was also something Megan said about how if it was going to be like the court case, she was going to DNF it. I was like the complete opposite. When I read the first chapter and it was like about the shooting and like about how it was her patient, I was so intrigued by that story. Like maybe not like the courtroom, but just like the how we got to where we are. So I thought that was going to be the story. Like I
Yeah,
thought we were in the present and then the rest of the book was going to jump back and like how did we get here
right.
situation.
Or like
And
a court case diving into what happened in that
yeah,
scenario.
and I was like here for it. I was like, yes, give me this. I love when you start a book and then you figure out how you get to the beginning
Yeah,
or whatever. So I was like kind of ready, and then it just like ended.
yeah,
It was just like, just kidding, it's over,
yeah.
and that's it. And I was just like, oh, so that's not what this book is about.
Right.
So then I was like, what is this book about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of people liked the perspective as well in the beginning. So I I think it went both ways for the beginning. That some people found it jarring, and some people were like, "Oh, I love this."
Yeah, I think people thought it was like strange, but they like liked that there was
Yeah.
multiple perspectives.
Right.
I kind of already talked about my comment, so we can just
Okay.
skip that one. I really thought the first time we got like the girl's perspective, I was like really interested. Like I wanted to know what was happening.
Everything.
Yeah, I was like, okay, this is the story I'm really interested to see. And I kept wanting her perspective.
Right.
Like I kept like waiting, like reading. It like kept me in the book because I was like, oh, when's it gonna be
Yeah.
about her next?
I, at one point, um, was like, I wonder if I would have liked the entire book from Alice's perspective.
Yeah,
Like, rather than the other characters, like,
yeah,
watching her, like, struggle through learning the
yeah,
dialogue and putting together the words and everything.
yeah.
That, I think, would have
It
been,
would have
like,
made it a better book.
groundbreaking for me to have
Yeah,
that. But,
I agree.
um, I also don't know if it would have worked. Like, maybe it would be hard to get across what was actually happening in the book.
Yeah, it could be because so much happens that she's not privy to.
Right. Um, but I think I also could have appreciated if it was just like a dual perspective. I didn't think Ellie's story was like her perspective added that much to the story, whereas
Yeah,
having the like psychiatrist patient relationship
I
and have
agree.
it the two sides, I think would have been it would have been made it like a 4.5 for me if it was more like that.
Yeah. Um, I also was thinking it's interesting with Kimberly's comment. She said she wasn't sure if Max was a bad guy. I saw a few comments of people who thought that Max was going to end up being like not a great guy. I never got those vibes. Did you?
No, I maybe it was the audiobook, but he never really came off as a bad guy. Like he was kind of closed off, but um,
I just figured he was like had trauma.
yeah. Uh, I'm gonna have to look up this. But do you remember what's the name of the book, Samantha? Because I'm gonna have to look it up because I
The
need to
Patrick
read more
Rothfuss
books.
book.
Yeah,
I mean, it's fair to be cynical about Max because every other book we've read this year has had where men are the worst. So
yeah,
I feel like we've set
yeah.
ourselves up to
Like
that.
so many books of just men being horrible.
Yeah, exactly. The
Like
slow regard for silent things. You got that? Write it down.
I'm writing it on a superstore receipt because that was the closest thing to me.
I'll have to look that up too. I have never heard of that.
The slow regard for silent things.
It's from the perspective of a kind of mentally challenged girl in a fantasy setting. Hmm. Very intrigued.
I am. I'm gonna read that immediately.
All right.
Next.
Moving on. I feel like I saw a couple people say this was their first Kristin Hannah book, and I feel kind of like sad if it was because it wasn't her best. And I like, she has so much better books out there
Yeah,
that like,
you like raved about her like The Great Alone, and
oh, it was so good. And I feel like she's worth reading her like newer books. I think she's grown a lot as a writer. And I'd be really interested if someone gave her another chance and did read one of her newer books, if like how they would think it would compare.
all right, next. Um, Peanut. There were some mixed feelings about her.
Yeah. A lot
Um,
of people struggled. I'm just going to get this out of the way now because I feel like this is a good intro. I think that my problem with this book was beside, like, I've already said, like, I really liked Alice's story. That saved the book for me. But my problem was the side characters were very much like caricatures of them. It was just like they were one thing and that's it. There was no like development. There was nothing else to them. Like Peanut was the best friend who was obsessed with her weight, and Ellie was the cop who was still stuck in high school and never moved on. And Cal was the nerdy guy who like wasn't happy in his life and was pining for the girl he fell in love with in high school. And it was just like that's it. That's all they were. And I
Yeah,
just like needed the characters to be more well-rounded. Even though like I liked Peanut, she was nice, but it was just like we only got one thing.
right.
And I I can I wish that they were more developed.
Yeah, or just like weren't in it.
Yeah. And I think like in terms of the weight situation, it was overkill mentioned. However, with this book being written in 2006, that was like huge. Like that timing of it, like society was like really pushing that kind of thing. So I get it. And I will also say I know women that are like this today. So like it was very like people like this do exist. However, I think it was still very like one dimensional.
Yeah,
But like Megan said, she was very supportive. She was a great friend.
yeah,
Like, but she didn't really add anything to the
right.
story. I
That's
could have
what I
got the
felt.
same story if she wasn't in it.
Yeah, I felt that way about like half the characters in the book,
Yeah,
where I was
same.
just like, without them, the story is the exact same.
Yeah. That kind of like I I did like Julia more than some of the other characters. I felt like she actually had a little bit of development through
Yeah,
the story from like where she starts to where she ends. But she also was still very much this like loner girl who was never understood. And like that was kind of like all she was for the most part. I think she had a little bit more depth, but I still wish we got like a little bit more from her.
yeah. It was close, like just a little more development, maybe.
Yeah.
Just a smidge.
Yeah. I also think like it was just like I kind of get it because like I was the loner girl who like didn't fit in my small town. So like I get it, but I also just feel like she was 35, which is the age I am turning this year. And I'm so far past that now. And if you were a successful psychologist or psychiatrist, whatever one she was, I feel like you would be past that.
Yeah.
The only thing I will say is that when I do go visit my hometown, it it is kind of like it throws you. You know, everybody is still the same, but you're not. And I don't know, like I do kind of get it, but so like that part a little bit made sense when she goes back to the town and she feels like she doesn't really fit in. I get that because when I go like I'm past high school now, I'm past those feelings, but when I go back home, it's like the town hasn't moved on,
Yeah.
even though I have. So like that part kind of made sense to me, but I don't know. Thoughts?
Yeah, I can see that. I haven't been back to the
Yeah,
hometown in a
true.
while,
You
so
haven't been.
I don't have the same perspective
Yeah,
because my family all moved, and
yeah,
so um, but it is interesting to think of it that way because I think if I did go back, it would be like a lot of memories tied to the past there
yeah,
because
yeah,
it's almost like a like teleporting back to that portion of your life,
yeah.
and so
Exactly.
it would like it would almost bring you into a weird headspace in
Yes.
that time.
Yes. So in that regard, I could kind of see where she was coming from. I just think it was too repetitive. Like,
Yeah.
the headspace was fine. It made sense. But, like, we didn't need to go over it
Right.
37 times.
Makes sense to me.
Which kind of brings us to our next one, which is
When I heard
35
that,
isn't that old.
as someone who just turned 35, I was just like, excuse me?
Yeah,
And,
it was a bit rough.
and, yeah, then I was like, please leave me in my back alone.
Yeah. We kind of just talked about, like, the town a little bit. Interesting fun fact about the town. So this town was called Rain Valley, which was a fictional version of Forks, which I thought was kind of fun.
And Forks, you said, was the Twilight
In
Town?
Twilight, yeah,
Yeah.
if anyone isn't familiar. There was a little like conversation with the author at the back of the book, which I always like to read to get like a little bit more insight in the book, and that's what she said. So I thought that was kind of fun.
Um, it definitely had like the super small town vibe.
Yes.
It reminds me of like kind of where we are now, where like everyone knows everything.
Yes.
Um, maybe even smaller than what
I
we
would say
have now.
probably smaller than where we are now. Like it was like kind of a village.
Yeah.
Like
Um, the I can see a town like that coming together. Um, like the small towns really do. If something interesting happens, they can provide like security and stuff. I don't believe that they could keep it a secret because they seem like gossipers. But you said when we talked earlier that you thought they could come together and keep it secret.
I don't know about the secret thing. I more meant like that the town could come together and like be supportive,
Yeah.
and like they like got a bunch of stuff together to
Yeah.
donate, like that kind of thing. I don't know about the
The
secret. I
thing for
don't think
me
there was
is
that
that
many
like
people.
the little towns like that, they usually have really old people, and old people love to talk
Well, there's
about drama.
those three sisters who
Right.
were like super, but they kept their mouths
I
shut.
know, but like
You don't think that's
they're gonna
likely?
let it leak when
Yeah.
they go to their tea lunches. Like it's double meaning tea lunch.
Yeah. Well, also, fun fact about this book that I learned in the conversation with the author is that this book was semi inspired by a true story, and that the author read in a newspaper a story of some teenage boys who were like came out of the forest and said that they had like never seen civilization before, and there was this happened in the town, a very small town in on Vancouver Island, and the whole town like rallied around them and like was super supportive. Anyways, turns out the whole thing was a big hoax, and they were runaways from Southern California, and it just like wasn't real. But when the author read this story in the newspaper, she was like inspired by it and thus became the story. Now
Yeah,
you
I
know.
I do think that the helping side for sure
Yeah.
would be real. Like
Yeah.
small towns are all about community and helping out whoever they can with whatever they can.
100%. 100%.
That part was hard to read when there was just like
Yeah.
lineups of
When they
people.
were talking about the lineup, that was a lot. I
Um,
mean, there was a lot of moments in this book that were like pulling on your heartstrings.
yeah, it
More
was like a
emotional.
pretty heavy book at times.
Yeah, but I feel like sometimes the parts that were supposed to be like really emotional kind of got lost in all of the like side plot
Yeah,
characters being
right. And they
whatever.
didn't really go into like they just basically told you it was hard for Ellie, but you didn't like you had like one story
Yeah.
briefly, but they didn't really get into like how exhausting that would be to have like lineups and lineups of people. They just kind of told you that she was like emotionally exhausted by it.
Yeah, but then she seemed like more distraught over when Cal said she was selfish
Right.
than having to deal with this like lineup of people who have like lost their children and are
Right.
looking for some kind of hope.
Right. Yeah. It just kind of seemed like thrown in there as like an emotional moment, but it didn't like it didn't come
It
to
didn't fit.
fruition for me and
Yeah.
hit the way I would have envisioned if it was done a little bit better.
Yeah. I also really loved how she got the name Alice. I thought that was so sweet and fun, and
Yeah.
I think also because I just love Alice in Wonderland, but also when her like favorite book seemed to be The Velveteen Rabbit, and when I was a kid, I loved that book. Like I was like I would like ask my parents to read me that book like all the time, or when I learned to read, like I would read it myself over and over again. So it was kind of like a nice little nostalgic moment to me that it was like included because you don't hear a lot of people talk about the Velveteen Rabbit,
Yeah.
and I just really liked what that book meant within this book.
Right.
I also love when books reference other books. I
Yeah.
just think that's kind of fun.
While I didn't think that it was like the most like amazing book, I did have trouble. Like I didn't have trouble stopping. Or with
Yeah.
stopping. I was like, I gotta I gotta know what happens with Alice, specifically Alice. And then
Yeah.
something would happen, and I'd be like, I don't care. Tell me
Yeah.
where Alice came from and
Yeah. I
what
agree.
her story is.
I think like put aside all the like side character stuff we've already talked about, but the story with Alice really kept me intrigued, and I like wanted to know what happened. I needed to know like the answer to like where she came from and where it would all end up.
Right.
So that like really kept me hooked. Like I read the book in just a couple of days because I just needed to know.
I read the book in a couple of days because I didn't have a
You didn't have a
choice.
choice. Yeah. Oh, this part I will say was a part that did hit for me. I will Alice's chapters um had the emotional impact that I was missing from some of the other chapters.
Yeah.
Like whenever she was talking about her like feelings or experiences, I felt like it really came through.
Yeah.
And when you got the impression that like she was silent because it was kind of like eaten out of her
Yeah.
was like horrifying.
Yeah. Um I didn't I wanted to know more about Alice, but I didn't
I didn't want to know that.
want to know like the nitty. I mean, like you do want to know, but
Yeah.
I also was like, well, I don't like the direction this is going with her story.
Yeah. I
But
did think so she had like such a strong reaction to the dream catcher,
yeah,
and like at the like it just kind of like glossed over
it
that he made them,
it
but like
it was just like they were there, but like
yeah, but like I kind of expected it to come back a little more with like how much they really
yeah,
focused on it.
right. I agree.
Yeah, I didn't think about that until just now. Like
I thought about that like a little bit earlier when we were chatting, but I forgot to
yeah,
mention it. But yeah,
yeah,
I was just like, it was just a passing comment at the end, and that's it.
yeah. Oh, this part was like so cute and like didn't you just want to give Alice a hug like
Yeah,
the whole time? But then when she like it's the safest she felt in a long time,
yeah.
man,
It was
so sad.
so
It was actually really interesting um reading through um, Julia and Alice's progress together. Like, Julia had so much patience. Like, obviously she's trained for it, but like, I can't imagine how difficult
Yeah.
that would have been for Julia. Like, all of the pressure, first of all, to like, everyone is so focused on getting her to talk, and she's just like trying to make the like, I don't know, just she's just trying to help Alice,
Yeah.
right? I don't know.
Um, so Max, everyone's wanting to know more about Max. I thought he was an interesting character, but again, like, he wasn't that deep. It was like kind of, but there was more to him by the end than I expected, I guess.
Yeah, I Julia and Max were a little bit too insta lovey for me. Like,
Yeah.
they just kind of like were like, there was nothing, I don't know.
1 second they weren't having
She was
pie, and
just,
then they were
yeah,
having pie.
exactly. But there was like, where's the if you're gonna put a love story in, like, build the love
I
story,
also like
you know?
the
Don't just like
double
hand it to me.
the double love story of the two sisters. I was like,
Yeah,
this is a bit much.
yeah. I don't know. Max was fine. Like, I didn't have anything against him. I knew
Yeah.
he had some tragic story. I knew he'd end up with Julia.
Yeah.
It didn't nothing like surprised
Yeah.
me. I just thought he was fine.
Yeah. I agree. We kind of went over this
Oh yeah, this
with,
is kind of like what I said. Just
yeah.
stereotypes.
Actually, I think you said all of these things, even about her, like new books and everything.
Yeah,
Um, so
I feel like I could have written this comment
Samantha
myself.
and and you are on the same page.
We were on the same page, yes.
um, we also went over this.
Yeah, we did go over that, yeah.
Um,
Did
lot.
you did you call Cal's wife being like that she left?
I was getting like, um,
I thought she was cheating on him, but
yeah.
like I knew there was trouble.
I just assumed that they were not going to be together, and that Ellie and him would
Yeah,
be together
yeah,
based on context clues that were in the first 10 seconds of them meeting.
yeah. It's kind of like Tammy's comment. She said, "I thought a lot of this book was too shallow, no depth, just too easy."
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just.
Yeah. I
I
agree.
feel like that sums it up.
The side characters all just too conveniently easy, and
Yeah,
um, yeah, a lot of people figured the wife was gone in some way.
yeah.
Um, and then we have when she says her first words.
Oh,
That that one made my heart
yeah,
drop a little bit. Like,
yeah.
I was like, oh man, this little kid is winning her over just by saying like two words.
I know. It was yeah.
I thought it'd include a wrong prediction for once. Just
I actually had the same thought as Megan, especially there's one scene where he's climbing and like then it starts raining. And I thought for sure he was gonna have to like hide somewhere to get out of the rain and he was gonna come across the cave.
yeah,
Like I thought for sure that's where it was going.
yeah. But then he was just like,
But then he just like fell
oh,
and then got up and left. I was like,
uh,
what was the point of this?
he was like, oh
I guess
no, I'm in love.
he had an epiphany, like that he shouldn't be an
I feel
adrenaline
like
junkie.
that could have been a conversation he had later that was like, I was out climbing and I fell and I realized.
Yeah,
Not like a whole scene. Like, it was the only time that he really got his own perspective.
I think there's a couple other ones,
Maybe
but they were
maybe a
all kind
couple,
of the
but
same. They didn't matter. You could have
yeah,
taken them out and it wouldn't have made a difference.
right. So,
Anyways.
anyways, moving on.
Yeah, we kind of talked about this,
Yeah,
the no pie and then pie.
yeah,
I just needed like more. I don't know. Like she like says that they're not going to be together,
yeah,
right? And then they just like are.
right.
But like where's the like
Then she's in a hot tub with him like the next
I,
chapter.
I don't know. I just needed something
Yeah,
else. Some kind of development.
yeah. Um, this was a right prediction. I didn't really have enough of care about Max to start predicting about him, so
Oh,
I
I was
wasn't
the
predicting
same.
anything.
Yeah, I had thought that he lost a kid. They kind of made it pretty obvious that
Yeah,
I thought that there was a lost
honestly, I didn't
child.
always pay that much attention unless Alice was
Yeah, I
part
can
of the
see that.
conversation, so
Yeah,
I may have missed the clues
yeah,
that he had a kid.
yeah. It's funny because I thought like kind of like really early on.
Yeah,
Forget there's like I feel like there's one sentence that kind of alluded to the fact that he had lost a kid.
yeah.
Like I thought like really early on that happened.
Hmm.
I
I
don't
don't
know why.
remember anything about it.
Maybe I just had some weird intuition or something. I don't know.
You are part witch, so
Yeah. Um, Cal and Ellie,
yeah.
they were fine.
Didn't dislike it, didn't have strong feelings about it.
I was happy for Cal.
Yeah,
He got what he wanted.
right. He kind
But
of finally was like stood up
I
for himself a little bit.
I was gonna say I like that he like called her out.
Right.
He didn't like he was obviously in love with her, but he also like didn't like
Let her walk all over him.
tiptoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like he was just like, no, like you're selfish.
Right.
Like, no, you're not a good friend to me.
Right.
Like I appreciated that he
Yeah.
stood up for himself.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
liked Cal. He
He's
was
a good
fine.
character.
I wish we actually got like more depth of him.
Yeah.
He was pretty like one dimensional.
Yeah. I decided to put these comments side by side because it's just like how that cliffhanger went, where it was like,
Yeah, I know some people had some mixed feelings about when Alice goes missing.
um, I didn't mind that it resolved so quick because I just want Alice to be safe and happy all the time.
Yeah, I felt the same.
Um,
I didn't want her to be re-traumatized.
yeah.
I
I
also like I think that um I appreciated that we got Alice's perspective during that time because it gave us insight that she did think about running back to her cave,
yeah.
but she wanted to stay, even though she was scared because she was alone or she was upset because she thought Julia left her.
Right.
Like she made that choice to not go back, and I kind of liked that we got that.
Yeah.
I feel like it showed her development, you know, because before she would always run and hide. But this was the first instance, or one of the first instances, we got of her choosing not to in a situation where she easily could have.
Right. When Alice and the wolf were reunited, that chapter should have been
Longer.
4 chapters long,
Yeah,
in my
I
opinion.
know. I was gonna riot if she didn't get reunited with the book
Yeah.
or with the wolf.
Yeah.
Like, it needed it.
Yeah. I was like, you
I
can't
wish
do
it
this
was
to me.
longer because it was
Yeah.
cut so short
Right.
because of stupid George.
Yeah.
Ruined
Dawn, I
everything.
think we're getting close if you want to mute the Mute this
Um,
stream.
I actually this comment or the next comment, um, about George.
Oh, the next one. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, the I see you remember me. I thought the same thing. I was like, what did I miss? Who's George? I don't remember him being mentioned.
Yeah.
It was such like a weird introduction to a character
Yeah.
because I had like went back and I was like, I don't remember this man. Like,
Yeah.
anyways, but then you find out like a little bit later.
Yeah.
But
I was like, wait, who is like? Am I misremembering that he was
yeah,
mentioned at the beginning or something?
yeah, same. Like Becca said, flip back to I flip back too. I was so confused.
I was in the audiobook and I was like, I don't have time to go find whatever whatever
Yeah,
this is.
yeah. I think like it's interesting that I mean, you do find out like relatively quickly what he means by that. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's like a paragraph later or
Yeah.
something that you realize, like, oh no, he's just famously convicted of murdering his wife and children or child.
Right.
So it was like you just really had to keep
Okay.
reading. But
I do have a question for you
for
because
me,
you read the physical book, right?
yeah,
Did you read him? Did he have an accent in the book?
yes.
Like, and you knew from the very beginning?
Well, they mentioned he has an
Yeah,
accent.
but did you did his like the way they wrote his
Oh
sentences
yeah,
have an accent as well?
like in my head.
Sure.
I
Like,
don't know what you're asking.
basically, as soon as he's introduced in the book, he had an accent because the narrator had him
Yeah.
have an accent, but I wasn't sure how it translated into the physical book.
Oh, I think they mentioned twice that he has an accent,
Yeah, but that's all. They just
but
mention it. Okay.
that's it. Yeah, and it both times it's like different.
Right.
Ellie picks up a different accent than Julia does.
Right.
So, but it just said he had one.
He had a very strong accent from the narrator.
In my head, he had an accent.
Yeah.
Like when I was reading, even when
Right.
I was first introduced to him, I don't know why. I just like felt like he should have one.
Yeah. Um. Oh, that's one thing I was going to mention about the audiobook as well. It was like there was no production value to it because it was just one narrator. But
Yeah.
anytime they went on walkie talkies, which was only like twice in the whole book, then they would do the and I was like, every time I jumped because I was like, why, why did they um, decide that that was the one like thing they were gonna do and that was it for production value? It made me laugh a little bit.
Yeah, that's so random. Um, but we kind of already talked about this.
Yeah. His accent in it was like they're talking about where it was from. It kind of sounded like he was from like Russia or something on the audiobook.
Oh, weird.
I don't think it was the right accent.
Huh.
Um, did you think the father would come forward, or do you think anyone would come
I
forward?
thought someone would.
I figured someone had to eventually.
I thought it would be the man who took her and
Yeah,
that he would like pretend that he was like
like a good
a good
parent.
guy, but really he was a bad
Yeah,
guy, but he was trying to get her back.
right.
But I didn't know it would be like her
Yeah,
father. And I didn't know that they would be like that those would be two separate
right,
people.
right.
Um, did you?
Um, well, as soon as he showed up, I was like, it seems too soon for the reveal of who it was.
Yeah,
Um, we can get to the reveal later, but
yeah,
um, so I wasn't exactly sure at that point, but I was pretty sure that somebody would show up at some point just for the drama of it all.
yeah. this kind of goes to what you were saying, like it was too early. So when we found out about George, we kind of figured it couldn't have been him that
Right.
took her.
Right. Oh, there we have so much for
Okay.
no more pie.
Bye, yeah.
That was not that long after the no pie. I mean,
No,
it was like enough of the book, but like,
this is what I'm saying. It was just like a
yeah, like,
switch was flipped. Like it was, you know,
yeah,
it just, I don't know. It didn't make a lot
yeah,
of sense.
yeah. This one, what did we? You told me we
So this
went to
is
look.
when we found out that George was in prison for killing his wife and daughter.
Yeah, right.
Um,
Yeah. So, did you see the twist with that coming? That he like
I
was
didn't really know what to think of him. Like I
yeah,
didn't really have any predictions. Um, Once we found that out that he was in jail, like obviously
yeah,
I was like, oh well, he's not the one that took her,
yeah. You thought it was too convenient.
which just wouldn't make sense. Like
Yeah,
she was obviously like held in a cave and he was
right,
in jail,
right,
so like the timing just didn't
right.
align.
So you were like, oh, it had to be someone else.
So then I wasn't really sure where it was
Right,
going. I just figured there had to be someone else,
right.
but I didn't know what.
Um,
This was sad,
yeah.
going back to the cave.
But
I
when
understand why they did it.
yeah,
I don't know. I felt like they were rushing the progress.
right,
And like she was so willing to kind of set back Alice in order to,
for her own gain in a way.
yeah, kind of. But also like
But
George
for
was the same,
yeah,
where
right,
he was willing to risk re-traumatizing Alice in order to like prove his innocence.
right.
So
It
I
was
don't
like
know.
a no win because in a way
But
she was
also,
helping her because
yeah,
she's trying to keep her, but
yeah. But also, like, it was a book; it had to move forward.
right,
So, like, I get it, but
yeah,
I don't love that it had to happen. But I am glad that we got to like
right.
solve that.
I also thought that it was nice closure for the wolf to be
Yeah,
released. Like I wasn't sure how that was all gonna
yeah. I
happen.
think I think we have a comment on that. Of all the things I could come up with of how the wolf situation was handled, I was glad it was Alice,
Yeah,
and I was glad it was her choice,
right,
and that she knew it was right.
right.
Um, Max's full story.
Then we
I
find out he's
kind
not
of
that
saw
bad.
it coming, so it
Yeah,
didn't really surprise me. That's all I really have to say.
yeah,
I this is when I like. I mean, I never liked George ever. I always got like
yeah,
bad vibes from him, but this kind of like solidified when he showed up. Like there's no redemption for
yeah.
me for him calling the
What was the
press.
question you told me in the back of the book though?
Oh, okay. So when I was reading about the conversation with the author, um, she has this line, and she's talking about one of the major undertones or themes of the book is the media portrayal in the justice system. And it's something that I didn't really think about until I read the conversation with the author. And I thought it was really interesting. And she was talking about how the media can both help and hurt the justice system. And we see that in Julia and George's case, in that they're both kind of like, media kind of like has its input on both of their cases in a really like detrimental way, and it like then sways public opinion. So like with Julia, the media like really pushed that she was kind of responsible for the girl doing the shooting, and then public opinion like was against Julia. And we saw the same thing with George, in that the media is what kind of convicted him. There was another solution. There was like the guy that was seen in the van, but the media like grabbed hold that there was a domestic and that there was affairs, and so it definitely had to be him. And he was wrongfully convicted because of this whole thing. And we see that in a lot of cases even today. Like, this is a real issue, is the media has huge sway over public opinion in court cases.
Right.
And can sometimes determine a conviction. It shouldn't, but it does. Anyways, one of the lines in the interview with the author was, both of their lives were arguably ruined by the media's scrutiny, and both used Alice as their redemption. But we only like make a villain of George, but we don't do the same to Julia because we are given her intentions. So then also at the back of the book there was like some book club questions, if you like read the book for book club, which we did. And one of them was, how would the story be different if it had been told from George's point of view? Which I thought was like a really interesting question, because if you were presented a story that this man was wrongfully convicted and lost his daughter and finally gets out, proves his innocence, and he's fighting to get his daughter, he's willing to like spare no expense for her care, and then you have this woman who's like trying to like,
No, I need to take care of him or her.
I mean, like, would that have changed the story or our opinion of George
Right.
if we were actually given his side of it?
Right. You have a guy who's been wrongly convicted, been put in jail, and then finds out his wife was murdered and his daughter was like tied up, and now he can't get back to her.
Yeah.
Um, it
And
would it would be very difficult to um, not be like, no, I just want her to come with me now.
yeah, he is trying to make up for lost time. He like has lost years without his daughter. And if we were given his point of view,
Right.
perhaps that could have changed what
Right.
we thought of him.
Because at the, we were reading, he's using the media kind of to his advantage, but
Yeah,
Julia kind of used the whole cave situation to her advantage. So like,
exactly.
yeah, how do you know that his intentions weren't actually good and he thought he was doing the right thing?
Exactly. But we like are on Julia's side because we see her connection with Alice through the whole book, and we kind of like learn like Julia's perspective, but we're never given George's perspective.
Right.
But anyways,
I'm with Samantha though. You just root for Alice to stay with Julia
oh,
because
totally.
and it's the right thing.
It
They,
is the right thing for sure. 100%. But I just thought it was an interesting question.
right.
Um, and just a different way of thinking. I also thought it was interesting to look at like how the media did play a role in the book.
Like Tammy said, she had to make him bad. It's like when there's like a villain
Yeah,
of a TV show or something, and you're like, that guy makes a lot of sense, and then like also he murders people for fun,
and
because
you're like,
the villain makes you're like, oh, they had to make him bad
bad
because he was
somehow.
making too much sense.
Yeah. Oh, we kind of already talked about this about the wolf,
Yeah,
so we can skip that one.
skip that one.
The Ellie and George thing, I was like really hoping. I mean, I kind of knew the author wasn't going to go this way. I kind of figured at this point that Ellie and Cal were going to be endgame, but I was worried that there would be like a little blip where she like makes the wrong decision and then she's got to like apologize and make it up to Cal and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
And I was just like, please don't do this.
yeah,
Like, I don't want it to be that messy. It was like such a stupid, like Megan said, it was pointless. Like,
yeah. I didn't
this
really
didn't need to
understand.
be in the book. The kiss didn't need to be in the book. The allusion to them being something, and then all of her friends thinking she was just gonna fall into bed with him, didn't need to be in the book.
No, no, no need for it at all. I
It was, it didn't. It was just extra pages.
I wish I had to go back and be like, did I miss something? Like,
Yeah,
it just
it
seemed,
felt so random.
yeah, super random.
Yeah. Then we find out what happened to Alice
Um,
and her mom and get the whole story. You had an interesting um, thought about how they handled the man who actually took her. You want
I thought I was kind of let down that it was just like some random guy who was also just happened to be dead now. Like,
yeah,
I was just like, well, that, well, it, maybe not him being dead, but the um, fact that it was like just some random guy, I could have got around, but then I was just like, I was hoping it tied into the story a little bit more.
yeah,
It just kind of, it was lackluster for me. That it
yeah.
was just like some guy who's not in it anymore, and you never knew him, and you never cared about who this guy was at all, and you
Yeah,
just find out he's like a deeply horrible person.
yeah. I told you that when they said that he was involved in a hit and run,
Yeah,
I thought it was going to tie into Max's story
right.
and that he was the one who got in the car accident that killed Max's son. And that it
Yeah,
was all going to be tied together. And that's why it was like,
right.
like that's why it was important or whatever. Like it was all just all connected, but it wasn't that. And like Megan said, it felt like a cop out. Like it was
Yeah,
just like, we find out that Alice lived in these like horrific conditions and then he's just dead.
yeah,
Like, and that's it. Like, move on. Like,
right. Kind of
I just felt too
let off
quick
too
and
easy then.
yeah, I don't know. I kind of just wanted more.
Yeah. This is right at the end where you have the roller coaster of emotions.
Where she's taken.
Did you think she was gonna be gone for good?
Um, I had two thoughts. I thought that what was going to happen would
Yeah,
happen. But then I also, in my mind, was just like, well, maybe, like, I know Kristin Hannah kind of likes to hurt you when
yeah,
you read her books. So I was thinking, like, maybe she would be taken and we would get an epilogue much later down the road where we get an Alice and Julia reunion, like Alice tracks her down or
yeah,
something. I was hoping that it wouldn't be that, but I kind of
yeah,
was like, maybe this is because that does happen. Kids
yeah,
are separated all the time.
yeah,
I have personally had experience with that in my life. I know how that works.
yeah,
And what happened in the book often doesn't happen in real life.
right.
So I didn't know which way it was going to go.
I had a kind of thought when the car was coming that they were just gonna run out the back door and Julie was gonna, or Julia was gonna, like, run away with Alice and just hide her from everyone
I kind of thought that too.
um, and like kind of leave behind everything. Like the thing with Max was actually her like leaving that behind
Yeah.
and going to um, hide
Go
in the
through the
woods
wild
and
together. Yeah.
and raise her
I
there.
did think that as well, that that could be a possibility. I think someone else said like I thought George would bring her back, but that it would take longer.
Yeah,
I agree. It was like really abrupt. It was almost like the writer was like, "Oh, like we're near the end. I gotta like
yeah,
wrap this up. Like I
yeah,
can't keep going."
right,
Because it was very like it was like the first sign of trouble, and he was
yeah.
just like,
I'm out.
"I'm
Yeah,
out."
it was way too fast for
It was
that.
too
Or
fast.
like I thought she was gonna get a phone call and be like, "We need you to come," and like we can't handle this or whatever.
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm like
But
happy that it happened. That like, like that he brought Alice
yeah,
back. But I did wish for, I don't know, just a little bit more.
yeah, for sure.
And kind of just sums up my whole feelings on the whole book.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is just kind of like more.
I did. It was the part where they were describing Alice thinking she did something wrong, and she's like, "I'll put my shoes on." that'll make her. That I was just like, why are you doing this to me?
I know. I know. I felt the same way at that when she was just, and then when you get like that she thinks she was bad,
Yeah,
and that's why she was. Oh,
right. She
I
thinks.
didn't like it.
Yeah, no, I
I
couldn't
didn't like
handle
it.
it.
No, that
Uh,
was brutal.
like that part of the book, like while it was horrible, bumped it up in my books like a lot.
I I agree. I agree. Yeah, we kind of
Yeah,
touched on this.
it was a lot that happened very quickly in that
Yeah,
chapter.
very quickly.
But then it was all
Then
happily
we
ever
get
after.
then we get the end. I think we kind of glossed over that like somewhere in all of this, Ellie and Cal figure their stuff out and get together, but I think there was a comment that was just like, yeah, we don't care, like something's happening with Alice.
Yeah,
It was just kind of like
yeah,
slid in there. Um, but yeah, then we get to the ending and everything was all wrapped up.
yeah.
I appreciate that it was all wrapped up. I don't like loose ends,
Yeah,
and
I'm kind of a loose end person.
I know you are. I like a happy ending.
Yeah,
I don't I don't like loose ends, but um I was satisfied with the end.
yeah.
Thought it was fine.
It was a. I'm like, don't
The
get me wrong. I'm
epilogue,
happy it was a happy ending.
it was kind of cheesy, the
Yeah,
epilogue with like the going to school
yeah.
and whatever, but I don't
Um,
know.
it was fun though. That
Yeah.
that she is kind of coming out of it a little bit.
Yeah, but obviously like she was like learning how to communicate
Yeah,
her fears and
right.
reservations, and it was just a half day, so
Yeah,
and she was with um what was the little girl's name? Sarah, I want
yeah,
to say, the daughter of Cal.
yeah,
It was Sarah. I did think it was cute that Julia had to like sit outside the whole time that she was in class
yeah,
or whatever. I thought that was kind of cute that they like hadn't made that much
yeah.
progress, but it was like enough that they could be like separated by like a window.
Right.
So
Well, I
yeah,
was mostly content with the ending. I could have
yeah,
used a little more loose ends, but that's just because I like pain.
yeah. I think that kind of that. You got any last minute thoughts on the book? Does anyone have any last minute thoughts on the book?
I will say that the author's note that you told me about makes me like the book more. Like,
It actually bumped the star up, or my star rating up like a quarter. I was gonna
yeah,
give it 3.5, and then when I read the conversation with the
yeah,
author, it kind of made me like it a little bit more.
yeah. I probably would bump it up
I think because I could
3.75 as
see
well.
the intention, like what she was trying to do.
Yeah,
I don't think she necessarily executed it
not
perfectly,
perfectly, but
and I think especially like for me knowing where she can go
yeah.
and where she has now gone,
I
like
think it would have,
10 years later,
if she would have done,
20 years later. Oh my goodness!
yeah,
Wow.
19. Oh, I think if she would have um, written the story in that way, where like you can very clearly see that the media was blowing things out of proportion and telling different stories, then it could have been like a 4.5, 5-star situation. But that it had to be an author's note telling me that that's what it's about. I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
that actually changes things.
Yeah. I
But
think the theme of the media would should have been stronger than it was.
yeah,
Um, to answer your question, Megan, I do think the women won
I think
the
that's
March
right.
Madness. I would personally say that the Great Alone is better than the women, but that's just personal preference. Also, The Nightingale was really good. If you want a story about sisters that's actually good. Um, I did like The Women, though. I should clarify. Like, I did actually really enjoy it. I just like some of the other, like The Great Alone was just, oh, it was so good.
Do you
The
have
Four
any?
Winds was also good. A little more depressing, though.
Do you have any last minute thoughts?
No, I think I've got it all out.
Perfect.
Um,
Challenges.
challenges, there aren't many. I'm gonna be honest.
Blue.
The blue, yeah. M for A to Z. This one's a bit of a gray area. You can give me your opinion. Um, there's a prompt in the fully booked reading challenge that is a book that has a time of day in the title. This one has magic like hour. I don't not a specific time of day,
I'm
but it like
struggling to see
kind
a
of
time
is.
of day.
Like if you count an hour as a time of day. I'm saying it's a stretch, but you could if
Big
you were
stretch.
struggling.
Is it?
This coming from the guy who said that coffee was a food. So
Coffee is a food. It's breakfast.
um and then also for read through the ages, if you don't have one for the 2000s, you could use it for that. And I think that's it.
Any others that we missed?
I guess North America for the,
Oh yeah.
but we've read so many books that take place in North America, so
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone has a book about it. If only.
If
Actually,
only.
still need that one.
Well, October, we're finding a book about a witch in a forest. Hansel
Yeah,
and Gretel.
see, Becca's calling you out. How can you support coffee as a food but not hour as a time of day? Make it make sense.
Hour is all the times of the day, not a time of the day.
Well, coffee is a liquid, not a food.
What's the definition of magic hour?
What do you mean the definition? Oh, the quote. I wrote it down.
Oh, you have it?
Yeah. The quote about the title is, "It was magic hour, the moment in time when every leaf and blade of grass seemed separate, when sunlight, burnished by the rain and softened by the coming night, gave the world an impossibly beautiful glow."
It's a still time of day.
Magic hour referenced a specific time of day. See?
The time where everything is still.
I agree.
But is
I
it like
think
the same every day, or is it like, is it changing?
it still references a time in the day though. Doesn't matter if it's a specific time.
Like it.
It's a time. Like if you have golden hour, that's a time of day.
Yeah, I
Even
agree
though it
with that one.
changes.
But
But
does
it changes.
but well, it's within
Huh?
reference to the sun.
So is this.
Is it?
Yeah.
If it can be like a specific time of
The
every day.
the full quote, more than just what I read, is about like a kind of like sunset.
A specific sunset or all sunsets?
All sunsets.
Okay, I agree then. You've
I'm
won.
glad we've convinced you. We didn't need your opinion. Um, anyways, I also think you lose. You've learned not to argue with me.
This is a daily occurrence at our house.
When I was in elementary school, I used to debate my gym teacher so much so that he said I should be a lawyer because I would like convince him why I shouldn't participate in gym class that day.
Yeah.
So
This is my life.
this is your life. Okay, let's move on to our last little thing. As we discussed in our last meeting, September, we decided to pick a book that was one of the prompts we were all struggling with in the Fully Booked Reading Challenge, which was a book that was written 25 years ago. So I put 4 books in a poll. I was a little bit late on the poll, I'm sorry. August was insane for me. Um, anyways, end up winning the Viscount Who Loved Me, which is the second Bridgerton book, but you do not need to read the first Bridgerton book in order to read this one. They are standalones. You can read it on your own. One thing to note is that the meeting for September is September 24th, so it's a little bit earlier. So make sure you don't forget because it is early. I think there's only like 3 weeks. Is that right?
I think
from
so.
from the beginning. It's a very short time before we will meet again.
Yeah, I'm
So keep
starting
that
it
in
really
mind.
early this time, so other
You
people
see,
start early too.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Wait, I have to read,
Yeah, you have to read the other one.
what was it? The Slow Regard for Silent Things.
Yes, Becca,
First.
I will try to do a 1 week reminder.
Yeah.
I also wanted to mention that for October, we also discussed this in our last meeting. I wanted to do a themed pick for a themed genre for October. And I thought since it's October, we should do a mystery
About witches
slash
in the forest.
slash thriller. So if you have any recommendations for mystery slash, please no horror. I can't handle it. I'm too soft. Okay. So
We watched a horror movie once when we were in high school, and I don't think Megan slept for like 2 weeks.
I also don't think I watched more than 5 minutes of it.
No.
Like this was me the whole time. Not for me. So
And then
please
she
no
was
horror.
like, "Stop looking at me."
Yeah. But mystery or thriller, if you have a book that you've been meaning to read, send it my way. I'm going to do a poll on time this month.
And preferably about witches in the forest.
What do I consider a horror book?
Stephen King.
Anything with too much gore.
Clowns are out.
Please no clowns. Like I'm out if it's I won't even show up to this meeting. Like
It can
yes,
be
it can be
it
gay.
can be gay. Yes.
Yeah, that will never be a limitation
That will
in this
never
book
be
club.
something that we can't read in this.
Just any mystery. Psychological thriller is fine, just not too much like gore. You know?
Yeah.
Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a no. Know what I mean?
But if it was like Texas Texas Mystery Murders, it might be a yes.
Yeah. No,
Depends
that would
on
be
how
fine.
graphic the murders are.
Yeah. Anyways, feel free to send them my way anytime. You can put them in the Facebook chat or DM me, whatever. I think that's it. I don't have any housekeeping this time. So.
Oh, I'm gonna be opening 3D prints back up on Friday. We got the all clear from our shipper. I'll give you guys the inside scoop on that.
Yeah, we haven't announced that yet, but it's coming back.
You're the first to know.
Yeah, but that's it.
That's it.
So.
Any final thoughts from anyone?
Yeah, anyone have anything they'd like to add? As always, we appreciate all of you showing up to be here with us and reading the books and talking on Fable. We also appreciate your comments, so thank you for.
It makes this way easier with the comments. Like
It does.
I wouldn't know what to talk about if we didn't do it this way.
Yeah. I think it was really good. I think we had some good discussions.
Yeah.
So, thank you all for being here, and we will see you September 24th for our next one.
All right. Bye.